there you have it. 3 ways to fish a blob: cast and sit, cast and retrieve in a wind drift. He's looking at it. Got him. I'm going to talk about how to fish a blob. One of my favorite ways to fish a blob is under an indicator, and I choose a particular kind of blob too. When I'm fishing blobs under an indicator, I like to tie my blobs on jig hooks with head turner beads. This is a size 10 jig hook and a 1/8 head turner, and then I attach it with a non-slip loop knot, and that just allows that blob to hang like that. It gets a little bit of action when there's some waves out there. Indicator size, a medium or large indicator is good. It's early season, blob season. We're fishing pretty shallow, 6 feet. I'm gonna peg that indicator. And then for a line, I'm fishing a tight and long, nice aggressive weight forward taper. Turn that indicator over, turn that heavy blob fly over. And for leader, I'm using an SA indicator leader. This would be a 3X. And then because I'm fishing shallow, this is a 12-foot leader. I've only put on about 3 feet of 3X or 4X fluorocarbon. You can fish blobs deeper, shallower, and you just choose the appropriate length indicator leader with pieces of tippet to lengthen that out. So when you're indicator fishing with a blob, there's a couple of things you can do. The primary cast is just going to be bobber set to depth that you're seeing the fish, which right now is 6 feet. That's what we're seeing. And we can just do a little roll cast to bring that up. And cast that out. Fairly open loop with that heavy fly. Now, you can just let that sit there. It's just that simple. You're out there, your bobber's suspending that jig style blob, and that's it. You can put your rod in the rod holder and they'll take it just like that. So that's your cast and sit method. You can just put it in the Scotty R5. You can have 2 rods out if you're fishing by yourself, and they will eat it static. We call that static. It's just sitting there. Ideally, there's a little bit of chop on the water. That's gonna cause that blob to wiggle a little bit. In a lot of situations when it's calm like that, you're actually gonna catch more fish if you move the fly. So I'm just gonna make a gentle strip to get tight to the fly. And it's just a little strip like that. And you'll see it'll create a little ring. And just let that ring dissipate and let that fly settle down. Strip, strip. That's gonna cause the blob to hop a few times. You can do a longer pull, which is gonna lift the blob up in the water column, and then it's gonna sink back down. You can let it sit. It's not a fast strip. What you're doing is if there's fish in the area, they see that fly dance around a little bit, you're gonna get their attention. They're gonna come over, take a look at it, and grab it. You can do a combination of those two, so you can cast that out, put it in the rod holder for a while, take a break. That's your static presentation. Pick it up and start moving it. You're definitely gonna find certain days they're gonna hammer it just sitting still. But there's a lot of days where as soon as you move the fly, a lot of times you're gonna go cast and you make a couple strips to get tight to the line and you hook a fish. That's a sure indication that the fish want the fly moving. So pay attention to that. The third way that I like to fish a blob is on a wind drift. Can be absolutely deadly. There's 2 things going for you there. The first thing is you're covering some water. The second thing is the blob's moving and giving a little bit of action from the wind. It's pretty calm right now, but we usually want to fish with the wind at our back. So if the wind was pushing down lake here, what I would actually do is make a cast. You can go as aggressive as 90 to the wind, but in this situation I'll do about 45, and I'm just going to cast the blob out 45 degrees to the wind, or 90 depending on how much wind there is. That's going to put a belly in your line, and that's what you want. And it's going to swing that indicator around with that blob. And you can get them anywhere on that swing. Let it come all the way downwind so it's static, let it sit static. Then you can retrieve it back and then do another wind drift. The important thing about doing a wind drift is making sure you're using the appropriate fly. If you're using a smaller blob with a brass bead, it doesn't weigh a lot, and that's a very bulky material. It's actually gonna come way up in the water column. So you might be set at 6 feet in this particular example. On a strong wind drift, you're probably all the way up to 2 or 3 feet. So that's why I like to use blob side on jig hooks with the 1/8 head turner tungsten jig beads, because I can do a wind drift and that fly is going to stay relatively close to the desired depth that I pegged the indicator. It'll come up a bit, but it's definitely going to stay in the zone. So that's important. So there you have it. 3 ways to fish a blob: cast and sit, cast and retrieve in a wind drift. Put those into your arsenal for blob fishing and you'll do well. For more information on blobs and tips on how to fish them, visit us in the shop or pacificangler.ca.